here in 4 modules, we are going to cover each and every part of the software testing. So starting journey from what is the software testing, how the software testing life cycle works, what is the automation testing, what are the fundamentals of automation testing, why it is necessary to do the automation or test automation. Then moving towards the journey, we will see the strategy of test automation, how to create the test automation strategy, then how to select the test cases or the test scenarios for automation. So that will be the journey middle part, which we are going to cover. Then we will move towards the UiPath test suite, how to create the actual test suite or test automation suite will be the hands-on, and we will be covering 2 use cases in that. One is related to insurance module and one is related to e-commerce module. So these all 4 days will be lots of learning related to software testing, then the automation testing and the actual practice, the hands-on related to UiPath test suite. So this is the agenda for all 4 parts. So Vibhor, can I start?
Yeah. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yes.
And we also have Asher on the call from UiPath. So yeah, in case we have any specific question related to test suite or something, so he will be able to help us.
Definitely. So let's start with this journey, and here in this today's part 1, we will be covering the ABCD of automation, test automation. So why ABCD is necessary? Because without ABCD, you cannot go and form the sentences. So even if I know you must be developer, you don't have any knowledge about the software testing, and that's the reason we are covering each and every journey of software testing here. So let's begin this journey towards the software testing. And in case you are having any query, you can ask me after the session. So there will be a Q&A part so that you can also get it clear with your queries. So let's start. This is the agenda of today's UiPath meetup, the test suite meetup. The first is like why software testing is important. We are going to see what is the importance in the IT career, why the software testing is important in IT career. Then why the software testing is like the test automation is required. What is the reason why companies are going towards the test automation, and how it is beneficial for companies to get into the test automation. And moving towards that, we will first understand the software testing lifecycle, because this is very important. Even if you are working as an RPA developer or you are a fresher and you wanted to go into the RPA, the software testing is also important part, where it is called as RTA, robotic test automation. And UiPath comes up with the best solution for test automation towards the traditional test automation. So in next session, we are going to cover that how the traditional test automation is different and than the RTA. So this is the agenda for today's topic. Let's start with why software testing is necessary, or why companies need the software testing. Because development is there, but why software testing? So these are some examples which I have drafted from like the past journey of companies, where they have got some problems related to that particular software, and that was not tested, or defects, leakage is there, and depending upon that, they have got a lot of loss related to like millions of dollars lost in case of banks, in case of some capital group for their algorithm. There are multiple things missed during the software testing, or the problem like the software testing was not introduced. These are some examples which you are seeing on the slide, are related to like the software testing, why it is necessary, and why companies are moving towards the software testing. So these are the example, and the next slide would contain the funny example where the software needs to make, like client have given the software like software development for one company, and requirement understanding is done, and depending upon that, whatever they have made without testing, So let's see how this funny things work. So client said like, I need elephant. BA is like getting the information from the client, and BA saying we only support the buffaloes. And what is the client requirement? That is the elephant. And whatever solution we have provided to the client is just like a buffalo with some customization which was not there in the buffalo. And the added advantage we have provided, like the buffalo can also give the milk. So this is a funny example why the software testing is needed. In fact, the requirements given by the client understood by the BA and the developer, but there is a gap between the requirements and the product which we have developed, or which we have given to the client. And definitely client don't need this. Client don't need a buffalo. Client needs elephant. Client was asking for elephant. Just imagine if there is a testing team who involved in this particular project, and testing team will get the requirements from the client, create some documents related to the software testing, check the expected result and the actual result, and then we have delivered this product. So it will be a different kind of product which we would have developed, we would have tested, and we would have given to the client. So that's the reason like software testing comes into picture. So companies are saving lots of money, the financials, then getting good ROI out of it by doing the software testing and the automation testing. Let's begin with the software testing life cycle. Just like the development has its own life cycle for the development, the software testing also has the life cycle which contains these phases. First one is the requirement analysis. Second is the test planning. So we need to plan the test, how we are approaching the testing, how we are approaching our test project or test management project. So that is important. Then the test case development, then test case environment setup, test execution, and test reporting. So these all are life cycle phases for the software testing. We will dig you through like the requirement analysis first, then how the test planning happening, then the test development happening. Each and every phases we will dig it out, and we will see what is the requirement, how we are going to achieve our target in case of automation as well. So first, understand the fundamental, the plinth of the software testing, and this is the plinth of software testing. So let's see, what is the first phase? The first phase is the requirement analysis. Just like the developers gather the requirements related to project from the BAs, here in requirement analysis phase of software testing team, the test manager, test leader, then senior test engineer, junior test engineer, everyone inside the software testing team, they will be getting the requirements. They will be getting the requirements from the client, and they will be interacting directly with the client for the requirement. They will check the requirements from the stakeholders, different type of stakeholders with the client, and analyze that requirement, analyzes the scope of testing. Let's take one example here related to banking application. In one of the bank comes to any company, and they wanted to go ahead with the testing as a vendor. And then they have given us the 4 modules related to banking application. So they wanted to check all these 4 modules in particular testing phases or particular test management thing. So they have come up with the account summary module, the loans module, the credit card module. They wanted to see how it is interacting on their different devices, mobile devices, it is interacting on the web. So all these things they wanted to, like client wanted us to check as a vendor. So there, the first phase will be the requirement understanding phase, and here our testing team will get the information from the client, get the information from the stakeholders who are involved in that particular application, and then create some documentation. So here you can see the deliverables. That is the first deliverable from the requirement analysis phase is RTM, requirement traceability matrix. Why the RTM is necessary is like RTM is it's a mapping between your requirement, whatever requirement you have got from the client, with the test cases and test scenarios you are going to create or you are going to automate. And when there is a requirement and the mapping is there from the requirement traceability matrix, we will be getting the test coverage is 100% or not. We are covering all the test cases or not. In this case, the elephant example here, if the requirement analysis was done properly and the test cases and test scenarios, everything was proper, then we would not have the buffalo with the customization sent to the customer. So the requirement analysis phase is very important. So in our application, whatever bank application we are taking the example for requirement analysis, we will draft the RTM, that is requirement traceability matrix, in the first phase of the testing. Here we will be having everything ready with the requirement traceability matrix, and we are ready with the requirements, and now we are going to start with the next phase, that is the planning phase. And in requirement understanding phase, everyone will be needed, but the important role here to gather the requirements is the QA team. So test manager will be also involved, test lead also involved, automation test engineers can be involved, because the feasibility check of the automation needs to be done in requirement understanding phase only. The application is changes, or there are changes related to application objects by the developers frequently. In that case, automation is not feasible. So the automation testing feasibility study is also important at the starting of the any phase related to requirement analysis. So this is the requirement analysis phase, just like a software development phase, but here there are output or deliverables which are little bit different, and we will be submitting the RTM, requirement traceability matrix, which is the mapping of requirement and the test cases and test scenarios between this. So let's take one example, whatever we have taken related to banking, and that is the suppose we are taking the requirements related to the fund transfer. So my requirement will be the user story will be, or the requirement will be, as a user I wanted to transfer a fund from my account to destination account. So this is the requirement, internet banking requirement. So there will be multiple test cases can be created for particular requirement, which we will be mapping. Here in requirement traceability matrix, we have to give the unique identification number for that requirement. So we will give a number like suppose REQ01. This is the requirement, and it will get mapped with our test cases and test scenarios. And we will be sure that in automation also, we will be covering each and everything related to the requirement. And then only the requirement phase or requirement analysis phase is going to over, and we will be moving into the next phase, that is a test planning phase. So the takeaway from requirement analysis is QA team interacts with the stakeholders to understand the requirement. They will analyze the testing scope, and they will create RTM, that is requirement traceability matrix. Generally in companies, the test lead or test manager is going to create the RTM. In case of mid-size or small companies, the testers can create. Then there will be the QA needs to make sure if there is automation, that automation feasibility study needs to be done, and then feasibility study report we need to submit to the client and take a go ahead, or maybe take a go ahead from sign off from the client related to automation feasibility report. So this is the requirement analysis phase of STS. So let's move towards the planning phase after the requirement analysis phase. Great. So now the test planning. So every project should have a project plan. Just like that, every project should have a test plan ready. In that particular test plan, the test strategy, the approach of the testing should be there. Now, if I'm talking about the test planning, in normal testing phases, the test plan needs to be created by the test manager or test lead again. So test plan will contain the strategy, that is the approach of testing, what to test, what not to test. So what is the scope of testing according to the client requirements or whatever clients have asking. So we need to create a test plan with that. What is the entry and exit criteria of each phase? So each of the phase or testing phase should have the entry and exit criteria. Each levels of testing should have the entry and exit criteria, when to enter inside that particular level and when to exit particular level. So that is very important in test planning. Then in this case, like the roles and responsibility, who will do what and what is the estimates for that is important. So in test planning, the test plan is getting created with the assumption, risk, and who will be the testers or test manager, test leads working on it. So who is the automation tester going to work on it. The roles and responsibility needs to be assigned and noted in the test plan. Then there will be the effort estimations, so that the deadline of the project should be given according to the project requirements, according to the project's guidelines. And in case of we are using the agile methodology, in that case the sprints needs to be created in test planning. We need to define the sprints. We need to see how many sprints will be there for particular testing project, how many sprints will be there for automation, when the automation is coming into picture, because at the starting we cannot start the automation from day one. So we need to, that application needs to be stabilized, then only we can start the automation. So all these things will be defined in the test planning phase. And we need to make sure like the test plan should be clear, crystal, and it is the visionary plan. So we need to see the vision of that particular project, and the test planning needs to be done. So here in test planning phase, we will be giving the deliverables as the test plan. So tester will provide the test plan, then effort estimation, how many test cases should be there, then how much time it will take, with how many resources. So everything will be drafted in test planning. Then the budget and schedule related allocation needs to be done. So budget is like from the estimation, we need to see like how many resources and how much budget we will acquire for the particular project in that business unit. So that is very important. So higher management will take care of it. Resources allocation and automation tool selection. In case we are going for automation, the automation tool selection is very, very, very important part. And in this case, like automation tool selection needs to be done so that we can create a framework in that particular automation tool. We can go ahead with the a particular automation tool understanding. And in case of UiPath Test Suite, suppose I wanted to use I'm a test manager and I wanted to use the UiPath Test Suite for my automation project. So in that case, I will go ahead and create the strategy, how I'm going to approach my automation in UiPath Test Suite. How many test cases will be there for each and every modules of the banking application. So there, the test planning comes into picture in case of automation. So this is the test planning phase where we have done the test planning. Now we know the road now, how to go inside that particular path or how to go inside the particular road. So we are having complete understanding about the plan. Now we need to move towards the how to execute that plan according to the test case design and then the test case execution. So this is the second phase, and let's move to the third phase of the software testing life cycle. The third phase of software testing life cycle is test case development. What is a test case and why test cases are important? Because just like you will be creating a test script inside a UiPath Test Suite, the test case is very, very, very important part. If I wanted to test a simple login page simple login page with the username and password. I need to test particular thing multiple times. So I need to check that particular login with the blank credentials. I need to check that particular login functionality with the correct username and wrong password. I need to check the login functionality with the correct username, correct password and wrong username. So vice versa, we are going to check each and every field validation. Testers needs to be, testers are should be aware of what are the field validation given by the customer in the requirement page. So they will be creating actual test cases out of it. They will see what is the requirement and how many test cases needs to be created related to that requirement. What if I will exceed, what if I will exceed the 5-letter username and I will add maybe 7 to 8 letters in username? Why if the email ID doesn't contain the @ sign? What will happen with the system? So all these points needs to be clear. All these points needs to be clear, and the test cases needs to be developed. Test case development is very important part after the test cases, test planning. And then in this case, the automation test engineer will be required to see what is the feasibility of the test cases. Here, the test automation engineer will go and create the test automation scripts. So suppose we will be using the UiPath test suite. In that, we need to create a workflows related to particular automation so that one test case will be created as a one workflow, and we can pass the multiple inputs towards that test case, and we will see what is the expected result and what is the actual result after execution or after executing that particular test case. So this is the test case development. We need to fix the test data which we are going to use during the test execution. So the test data should be ready. So for example, the test data for the banking application will be the account number. Which account numbers we are going to test? Are they exist in the database of the bank, or we need to create the new account? We need to create a new test data, because test data should be relevant. Test data is very important part of the test case. And without test data, the correct test data, we cannot make sure that testing is going perfectly. So that's the reason inside the test case development, the test data creation is very important. And in case of automation, when we are going to create one workflow, which will be like taking the login credentials particularly, in that case, we will put the input file with different combination, different permutation combination of data, and we will be developing our test cases. So this is the third phase of testing life cycle, where we will be creating the test case development. And in case of automation testing, like the automation or the test automation, the scripts will be created. These scripts will be like for the traditional automation. In case of UiPath Suite, we will create the workflow by using all the activities provided by the UiPath related to testing or test automation. So we will definitely see how to use that activities in this journey. But first, to understand the plinth of the software testing, or the illustration of how software testing works. So this is the third phase of the software testing life cycle. Let's move ahead and see what is the fourth phase. This is the fourth phase, is testing environment setup. Why environment setup is ready? If the environment is not ready, how we are going to execute the test cases, or where we are going to execute the test cases? Let me give you the example. For the banking application, I need some version of the Chrome. I need one database, that is maybe SQL Server. That is the database I needed for testing that particular application. Then I need that particular application access, which needs to be given by the bank. So all these things needs to be done before starting the test execution. What is a test execution? That is, whatever test cases we have developed or designed in the third phase, we need to execute that. So that's the reason the first important thing we are doing here in the fourth phase, that is the test environment setup. Just to relate the RPA journey, which you all are doing. So in RPA, before going live, we will prepare for live. We will be seeing, is this environment ready to go live with? So for that preparation of live, we are seeing each and every components which are needed for that particular RPA application to be run, or the process to be run by the robot. Just like that, we need to set the environment for the testing. We need to set the different applications which are necessary for the testing. So that will be provided again by the client. The access needs to be given by the client, because of that, otherwise we will waste the time after going into test execution, and then it will delay the our project. It will delay our testing phase. So environment is also known as test environment, is also known as test bed. So test bed setup is very important. And this fourth phase, that is the environment setup, needs to be done before starting the execution of the particular test cases. So deliverables for from this phase, environment setup phase, is test environment, which is a ready test environment. We will just so ground is ready now, and you can play on it. Just like that, the ground we are making ready here, and the smoke test cases. What is a smoke testing? I am not going to explain you in detail, but smoke testing is known as the testing where we are just checking the application is ready for test or not, or the readiness of the application. Suppose I am checking one banking application, and when I am putting particular link inside my browser and it's broken, I'm getting 404 error after putting that link inside the browser. So that is the catch here. Even if your whole application is ready and that particular link is not working because of any reason, then it is not ready for the testing. So before the actual testing, actual functional testing, we need to do the smoke test ready, and the output from the smoke test should be like application should be working fine. All smoke test cases should be running properly. Then only we can move towards the test execution, the functional testing, or the actual testing which we are going to do. So here the smoke test cases comes into picture. We are just checking the application readiness, and is the application ready for the testing or not. Let's move towards the fifth phase, that is the test execution. In the test execution phase,
Swati.
yeah.
Hello. So just let's take a pause, and we can ask if somebody has any specific question, or
Okay.
they want any clarification.
Okay.
Guys, please go ahead in case you have any question or something.
Yeah. Thank you, Vibhu. Hi, Swati.
Hi.
Vipul this side. It was a pretty nice session, first of all. Second would be, if for everyone, you can just give a brief about what exactly is difference between software testing and unit testing or UAT testing, which we perform on a particular RPA solution. And second would be, at what frequency should we be doing this software testing for a particular product?
Frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are asking about the test automation frequency?
Correct. So at what frequency should one be doing that unit test, this unit testing, software testing for a particular product?
Yeah.
And how is it really different from the unit testing or UAT testing, which we do once we design our RPA solution?
Yeah. So first of all, like after completion of all the six phases, the next slide will contain whatever your question is. So is that fine? When I'll go to that slide, I'll cover all the questions you asked.
Okay. I'm okay with that, which is fine. Can you at least give a difference between software testing and unit testing? Because for us, it's very hard to differentiate this from the unit testing, which we are already doing on our product.
Definitely. I'll explain you each and everything about the unit testing, how the TDD comes into picture, test-driven development. and then how to go ahead with the testing. Just wait for 5 minutes for the last phase, and the next slide will contain that. Okay.
Yeah, so idea was Vipul that there are many, we received many registration where 50% people are those who does not know anything about testing, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we thought we should cover or everything which one person should be knowing about testing and all the phases.
Perfect, perfect, lovely, makes
Yeah,
sense. Thank
yeah,
you.
and Vipul, one more thing, like as I said earlier, this is the plinth of the software testing. When you will get all the information about all these 6 phases, then you will understand what and where, what is the frequency, then what is the unit testing, what is the difference between the normal testing and unit testing, whatever developers are doing. Each I will cover today's session.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah,
great.
thank you.
Thanks for the.
Yeah. So test execution, we are going to we have developed the test cases, then we have done the test environment setup, and then now test executions in which is coming into picture. So in case of automation, there are cases where we are introducing the automation. In this case, the automation test suite, the full automation test suite which we have created needs to be executed. And if in case of manual testing, some cases which are not feasible to automate, so that also we need to execute here. So in test execution phase, we will be covering the comparison of expected result and whatever there in the application. So suppose, just example, so the functionality of fund transfer should work with NEFT is given by the client, and it is working as expected as per the test case or as per the requirement on the application or not. So that needs to be checked in the test execution. So this is a test execution phase where the test execution result, whatever, suppose there are 1,000 test cases and 600 test cases are getting passed, 400 are getting failed. So what is the ratio of that? What is the defects? How many defects we have raised related to that? So bug report needs to be submitted in that case. Then daily report needs to be sent to the client related to test execution. So DSR, WSR, these are the reports which we are going to send to the client. And in this case, like in test execution phase, we need to be sure that application whichever developed by our development team needs to be same whatever the requirement are there from the client. So this is the test execution phase, and here we are doing the actual execution, the actual validation of all the requirements, and we are in case like developer missed something or any integration problem is there, the defect needs to be raised related to that. Is there any functional problem, the requirements was different and the development done was different, so that needs to be raised. So everything we will cover in the test execution phase. And after test execution, we will be ready with the closure activity. So next phase is the testing closure, where we will be submitting each and every document about the closure. We will see the retrospective, that is a lesson learned from the particular testing, each and every phases. We will create the test summary report and send to the client. So this is the testing life cycle, starting from the requirement analysis till the test closure. Now, after this testing life cycle understanding, the fundamental of testing, maybe you got clear each and every phase what we are doing. Just a brief introduction I have given for software testing life cycle. Let's move to the next slide, that is the testing levels. Here people, your questions will be covered. So now, what is the testing level and why testing levels are important? The first testing level is unit testing. When the banking application we thought to develop a banking application for our client, one of the bank. We have done the requirement understanding, and now we have started with the development in SDLC, software development life cycle. We have started with the development. Developer will create a small modules or the functionality one by one. So suppose in our project, there are 10 developers who are working on different modules of the unit test and different modules by using the tool UiPath Test Suite. They will create their own test cases so that the TDD comes into picture. So there are two things. If I'm a developer, if I'm a RPA developer, I am developing the particular unit testing test cases. So I need to be sure all the permutation combination of that particular functionality should be clear. So let me give you a simple example here related to unit testing. If Vipul is like developing the login functionality, and in that login functionality, Vipul needs to be take care each and every part of whatever the client's need is. So client want the email ID should be taken as a username, and the password should be 8 character, including the uppercase, including the lowercase, and the special character and the number. So this is the password related thing, whatever clients need. So what people needs to do in case of unit testing, people needs to take all the validations, whatever are there related to requirements, and that particular data needs to be checked with that particular workflow. So we need to create a workflow in the test suite, UiPath test suite, which will cover the username and password, whatever client want. That is the positive testing or positive unit testing we can do. The Vipul can also do the negative testing by passing the wrong username. Maybe it is not an email ID. It is a normal username without @ can be passed. If the application is taking that, that means there is a problem, there is a defect. Because in requirement, the client have specified that they don't want other than any other than email ID, they don't want any particular username. And there is the reason might be like the application which is developed already in .NET or in Java, there the developer missed to take that particular thing, and they are taking as a username any character, even if the @ is not there, the system is accepting particular thing. So here is a catch. According to requirement, it is not working. The expected result and the actual result is different. And the unit test case, whatever we have developed and whatever we have executed is not giving the output, which is necessary output. So there is a defect and we need to log the defect. So this is the normal traditional unit testing, and the difference between the unit testing done by the tester, or in case of test automation, we can cover the TDD, that is test driven development, and we will create along with the developer, whatever developer is doing in case of that particular application, we will be creating the unit test workflows, and we will be passing that particular test data according to client as well as the negative data, and we will be checking that particular unit or particular component is working fine with all validation. So that is the difference between the normal unit testing done by the developer, and we will do the unit testing as a tester or the automation tester. So Vipul, this is clear, or you want more information related to that?
No, it's perfect. It's pretty much clear this that unit testing is only for developers. They can do the debugging once they are developing the code, and again the automation testing is a big picture which we do as in with the flow. Correct?
Correct. And when RPA is coming into picture, is like the system is developed, then system is already tested, okay, then after testing we got the defects, that defect needs to be resolved, retested, and everything is done, and go live is also done for the system banking application, and then the robotic process automation comes into picture. And what we are talking about is a robotic test automation that comes into picture before going live or before go live of that particular product. So this is the difference between the RPA and RTA. First, you need to understand what is the difference between the robotic process automation and robotic test automation. So test automation comes into picture way early than the RTA. First, we need to make sure that the application is working fine. So let's take an example. If SAP, the client is having SAP at their location, they wanted to check the vendor registration or vendor management part of the SAP. In this case, they first needs to be clear whatever components, whatever configuration they have done for the SAP, whatever T codes they will be using for SAP are working fine as expected their requirement. There we can do the robotic test automation. After everything is done, they are clear and every defects which are got by the testing team is resolved. The retesting is done. Again, we will do the testing for that particular application and the application is ready now. Now we can go ahead and do the RPA on it. So robotic process automation comes into picture after everything is done and every application is ready and go live is already done. So that is like difference between the RPA and RTA. So next is the in testing level. First is unit testing, which is done by the developers.
Hi, Manu here. Sorry to interrupt. I had a question so if there is any change in the application itself, so do we need to redesign the entire test case or it is how it is actually?
So in case of change management, whenever the change is there in the application, after we have developed the test automation as well, we need to take care about the impact analysis of that particular change. In case of RTM, like requirement traceability metrics, we need to see how many test cases are related to that particular requirement. We need to see what is the impact of all modules. Suppose the test case, whatever requirement change by the client is in loan module. So how the loan module of bank is connected with all the other modules which are there. So if I'm paying a loan from my account on 10th of each month by ECS, so it will be the deduction of from my account summary, right? So it is integrated with each other. So how the impact is because of that particular change. We need to identify the impact analysis. We need to see the risk on whole application because of that change. And then we will go ahead and do the change into the workflow which we have created in test UiPath test. Okay. So before starting the automation of that particular change, we need to be sure about the impact analysis as a application as a whole. So 360-degree view.
So you are saying for whatever the test cases we will create, it should be such a minute level so that the changes will not affect the entire test flow, right? If any changes comes into picture to address that concern.
Even if the change will be there and the client want that change should be incorporated in concurrent suite, we need to see what is the impact of that change. Suppose there are 100 test cases for particular requirement, and because of that test cases, is the test cases linked with the other requirement as well? We need to see that from the requirement traceability metric. We need to see if I will change that particular workflow for that particular requirement change, is that particular thing from where we are getting the input for that particular workflow, or the output which I'm sending from that particular workflow is impacted by the other modules or not. So mainly the impact analysis of that particular change needs to be done. So that is the very important thing. And again, as you said, we need to go into the minute level so that even if we need to change something, it will not hamper our entire test suite.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So now moving into the integration testing, what is the integration and what is the difference between the unit and integration testing? So unit testing is a component testing. A small part of the application is getting tested in unit testing, but integration testing is more than 2 modules or more than 2 applications are integrated with each other. So we need to test how the journey works for that particular modules, how the journey works within that particular applications. And that's the reason integration testing comes into picture. Let's take an example of Paytm integrated with your bank. So even if you are transferring money from your bank, ICICI Bank, and it is going towards the Paytm account, it is the integration between 2 systems. And previously, before going live, the Paytm have much done the integration testing, as well as the ICICI Bank also done the integration testing. and seen that the applications, whatever integration is done between these two applications are working fine. So testing team or the automation testing team made sure that the integration between these two applications are working fine. So this is the integration testing, and integration testing is important in case of like the application which are complex application. There are many applications which are linked with each other. There are many modules which are linked with each other. So their integration testing comes into picture, and we need to create an integration testing journey before starting for the automation. So how that journey works, how the strategy will work for the automation. So this is very important. Then the system testing is coming into picture. System testing means the functional and non-functional testing, checking the system as a whole. The entire system is now going to test, and we are ready for checking the performance, checking the load, stress. That is also important. Checking the functional requirement, whatever functionality given by the client is getting tested or not. That we need to check. So in case of the banking application, our example, we need to check all the loan modules, the personal loan, home loan, car loan. These modules are integrated with each other. These are working fine or not. And each and every module transactions are working fine or not. Otherwise, it will be a financial impact related to that particular thing if there are defects. So the system testing is very important after the integration testing, and we are here to understand what are the requirements for the system testing, and then is it achieving everything related to system testing or not. So here also, like automation comes into picture. We need to be sure all the journeys which we are taking for automation, all the test cases or the regression suite which we are taking for automation is ready, automated, and we can make sure there is no defect leakage after the system testing, and there is no defect leakage or defect we will miss related to particular test data. So we need to understand the orthogonal array of test data. We need to take multiple permutation combination of test data, and we need to make sure our automation suite, our test automation suite is working fine after the system testing is done. The exit criteria will be like all testing should be done, all types of testing should be done, and we are ready to for the UAT. So that is the user acceptance testing. User acceptance testing is done by the customer at their location, or previously, like before going the customer location, it can be done at the developer side, but with the client's team. So client's process SME who knows the process or the application clearly, who have given the requirement earlier, and they are just going to check all the requirements, expected results are matching with the actual result or not. For that, UAT test cases needs to be created, UAT test suite needs to be created, and we can help, the testing team can help the client to get the UAT done. UAT testing team should be there while the client will be going to do the UAT. So these are the levels of the testing, starting from the unit testing, which is very important because the small part should be ready, then only the plinth should be ready, then only the building can survive. So unit testing is very important. After that, the integration testing. In integration testing, we are checking the integration between the systems or modules. Then in system testing, we are checking the system as a whole. We are checking everything which we are covered for functional, non-functional requirement is getting clear. And the UAT, user acceptance testing, that is done by the client SME or the client stakeholder who knows the application, what is the need of the application. So this is about the testing level. Let's move towards what is the automation testing and why automation testing is important. Because if I am having 10 manual testers who are going to test the application, then why I will go for the automation? Why I will take the automation product or automation testing tool so that I can develop the automation and check what is the necessary thing. So here, let's take example of the banking application which we have taken. For banking application, daily I want to see the result by the application at the 6 o'clock in the morning, and it is working fine or not. I need to check that daily basis. And there are 3,000 test cases which the testing team have created, and they wanted to check the 3,000 test cases daily basis in the morning 6 o'clock. So for that test cases to be sure, or the expected results which are coming from the test cases, which should come from the test case, and the actual result is proper or not. For that, I need many employee or many test engineers to check it manually. So 3,000 test cases, if I wanted to check manually, it is lots of time, lots of efforts which manual testers are going to put. That's the reason the automation testing comes into picture. We can automate that particular test suite. We can see which are the journeys, customer journeys we need to automate. And after, it's a one-time activity to create the automation suite, and daily 6 o'clock, the clients needs the results by that automation suite. We can just put that in our cycle, automation cycle, and we will be sure like every morning 6 o'clock that automation test suite is running properly and giving the issues whichever face. As someone asked about the change management, in case of change management, the application has changes, but that is not communicated with the testing team. That case also we can see the result of the automation testing or automation test suite will be failed. So like these test cases which are mapped for that particular changes or the change request will be failing here in case of the automation test suite execution. So in this case, we need to again revisit that test cases. We need to see where the changes, which objects changed by the client or client's developer from the front end, and then we need to make sure that all the test cases for that particular change needs to be done the impact analysis, and we need to change that particular object in our workflow, UiPath test suite workflows. So this is the automation testing, and how the automation testing will be good for having a good ROI. So take example of 3,000 test cases running daily. I will need around 20 to 30 testers for doing it manually. Instead of that, I will just create a UiPath test suite for that, and I will put that running. And 6 o'clock I will be running that, and maybe 7 o'clock I will be getting the report out of it. So instead of 20, 30 testers who will be doing it manually, I will create one-time test suite, and then I will be running that test suite, and I will be, as a client, I will be getting a good ROI out of it. That's the reason the industries or IT industries, many companies are moving towards the test automation, and that is very important factor for getting the good ROI out of it. Then how to improve the quality cycle. So why quality cycle will get improved by using the test automation. So take example, one test cases is having test data which we need to check is like maybe 200 times we have to check one test case with that particular 200 types of different kinds of test data. Manually, a person can miss that particular testing, person can miss the test data, whatever is going to test, and a person or manual efforts will be more in that case. But in case of UiPath test suite, I will create one workflow which will going to test the expected result and actual result of that 200 test data count for the particular workflow. So once I will create so one-time efforts to create a workflow and put the test data, the 200 test data inside it, and I will just get the result out of it instead of the traditional manual automation. So that's the reason like the improve in quality will be there. We will be checking each and everything, each and every test data, whatever client want according to the requirement. We can focus the test coverage here in case of automation. so that we will be covering each and every requirement with each and every permutation combination of test data. So that's the reason like the automated testing comes into picture, and it will be getting good ROI out of it. What is the benefits of test automation, and why like companies are doing the test automation? You can see like I explained about the manual testing, and if by using manual testing I wanted to check 500 fields, and I want to check the validation of 500 fields with maybe 1,000 entries in the customer entries from the data, or I want to check the KYCs or the KYCs submitted by the client are properly are proper or not. In that case, the manual efforts will be more, and it's a tedious task for the person to do 2,000 or 3,000 entries related to that particular validation. Person can make the mistake, person can check the break, but in this case, in test automation, by using the robotics, we will be having a person, a robot, which will be testing instead of the person. So that is the like effort saving. We are having the time consuming. Manual testing is very much time consuming, and it will be more costly, because I need a testing team where the manual test engineer will be there, senior testers, lead manager. So it will be very costly. Instead, I will create a bot which will take care of all testing automation, and it will be easy to maintain, easy to implement, and second thing, like it's a good ROI out of it. So that is the first and most important benefit of test automation. You can run that unattended overnight. It is not, the manual intervention is not needed. A person don't needs to work in the night shift and do all this testing. So everything can be done without human intervention. We can just schedule a bot, and the bot can take care of that particular test automation. I wanted to check the compatibility of my application with 10 different devices or 5 different browsers. And by using like 3,000 test cases manually, it is very complex thing, and it is very difficult to check each and everything on each and every browser. The reason, like again, testing of that various different types of compatibility will be taken care of test automation, and in that case it is very beneficial, and it is quick. In quick time we will be getting results for all 10 devices on all 5 browsers, whichever needs to be done or whichever needs to be tested. So this is the compatibility testing which we can cover in case of test automation. Then the automation, obviously speed is very much high for test execution. Suppose I am a tester, software tester. I'm doing a functionality check for the home loan module. So I will create a customer, I will create a home loan form is there. I will fill that form. I will check particular all the fields are working fine or not according to the client requirement. So for this journey, I require to execute suppose 20 test cases, and for that manually I require around 1 hour to take the all these 20 test cases, to check if in case of defects I need to raise that defect and send to the client. I need to raise that particular defects in with the screenshots, with the evidence of that defect. So each and everything I need to do manually. I will take a break between that. Maybe 1 hour will exceed to 1.5 hours, but bot will not take any break. Bot will not do mistakes, and bot will make sure whatever instructions, whatever rules we have set up for test automation there, bot will be covering that, and bot will work according to our instruction. The person will not work according to our instruction. Person can miss the things. A person cannot check the test coverage, might be because of missing or because of a phone call he or she got. That person can miss the things, or person can take the lunch breaks. But in case of bot, it is not like feasible, and bot will not take any of these excuses, and bot will do the test automation very perfectly according to whatever we have set inside that particular bot. So that is the reason, like, test automation with robotics is will be good, and it will increase the test coverage and quality. And the speed will be, definitely it will enhance the speed, it will be enhance the quality, the less efforts will be required, the one time efforts will be required in this case, and the ROI will be saved again. So this is the benefits of the test automation. So we covered here first, like, why the testing is necessary, then we covered what are the phases of the testing life cycle, software testing life cycle, then we have covered what is the unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and UAT in short. Then we have seen the test automation, difference between the RPA and RTA. That is the difference between the robotic test automation and robotic process automation. Now we have seen the benefits of the test automation. So this is the for part one. This is it for part one, and you can ask in case of any question is there. And definitely in next session we will be seeing the automation strategy. We will see how the automation strategy works, and third session onwards we will be creating the real test automation suite by using UiPath.
Thank you so much, Swati, for such an insightful session. So guys, and this is your time now. Mic is yours. Whatever questions you have, please feel free to unmute and ask.
So as part of creating the use case, we'll be covering both RPA development related test case as well as the application test cases, or it is only the application testing?
I didn't get your question actually.
I hope we can, as part of this test suite, we can do testing of both RPA use cases as well as application related testing, right?
Definitely.
We'll be covering both.
Yes. So see, testing is the quality assurance. We are making sure whatever requirement given by the client, whatever expected is there by the client, is actually it is working like that. The application is working like that. Let's take example here. If you are working on the purchase order processing for the RPA, right? You're doing the RPA workflow by using UiPath for purchase order processing.
Correct.
So that purchase order processing workflow, which you will create on the application, for example, SAP, that SAP needs to be tested first by the client or the client testers or the automation tester. That particular SAP T codes, whatever fields are there, are taking information properly or not, or the functionality works according to the requirement or not. And then the RPA comes into picture after everything is done related to testing. In case of RPA also, if you wanted to check your bot is working as expected or not, definitely you can use the test automation there. You can set your bot, and you can see whatever information or input you are providing inside that particular RPA use case are taking by the bot correctly or not, and in that case you will be finding the exceptions, right?
Okay, so even if we have used Q concepts and RE framework, we will be able to do the testing, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
You can able to do the testing in case of RE framework or in any framework you will be using. So it will be RE framework, or you can use your own framework, which is the subset of the RE framework only, but you have created by customized way. So you can definitely do the testing for that.
So Swati, just to add to that, so guys, just so that we are all in the same page here, right? So this 4-part series that we have organized is will be concentrating on software or application testing. So the words are interchangeable. So when we say software testing here, which means application testing, as you guys know, so UiPath Test Suite is something that caters to both application testing as well as your RPA testing. So though it is possible for you guys to test RPA workflows and automations using UiPath Test Suite, I think the focus of this 4-part series is to show you guys how you can test your applications or software using UiPath Test Suite. Right? I don't. So I would just want to ask Swati to confirm as well. I think as far as I know the agenda, Swati is trying to cover how can you test an application using UiPath Test Suite, right? Swati?
Yes, yes, correct. So moving towards this journey of part 2 and 3, we will be covering, we will be showing you the live example how the testing needs to be created, how it is that by using UiPath Test Suite, how we can create the workflows for testing, and how expected result if not matching with actual, how the defects will be raised in that particular application, how we will get to know our testing is passed or fail, the execution is getting properly or not. Everything we will be covering practically as well.
Yeah, I think so, Mukesh. The direct answer to your question is no. We'll just be covering application testing in this 4-part series.
Yeah.
And Mukesh, I have also just shared one link on the chat window where we would be doing other meetups, sessions as well. Let's say next one is on the SAP automation, right? So you may want to attend that as well. That's happening on the 30th of September. Yeah, guys, any other question?
I have a question here.
Yeah.
How can we say that the automation testing is a success?
Yeah. So first of all, we need to understand the application when we are starting the automation. So there the automation strategy comes into picture. And according to like the application, we are not going to cover each and every test cases for the automation where the changes are expected or where the application is getting changed by the client. So there we will not do the automation. So for example, we are having 10,000 test cases for the application. So we are not going to cover all 10,000 test cases in automation. So for that, automation strategy needs to be done, automation test suite needs to be done, and out of that maybe 3,000 or 3,500 test cases which are very important for the business impact or very important financial situation, as well as very important for to validate something where the manual testing will be cumbersome, or like it will take more time and it will not get good ROI. So we will go ahead and create that regression suite for testing and regression suite by using automation, and we will run that. And the success of automation will be the quality assured. So after that, if we are not missing any defect from the automation suite, we are covering all and permutation combination of test cases and test data in that automation, and we are giving the result, that is the automation result is up to the mark. So the from that we can say that automation is successful. In other hand, if you have created the automation suite, but out of that 50% of test cases are not running because of change management, and that are not changed, so this is not a suitable use for the automation. So in case of change management also, we need to see where the impact is, and we need to change the test suite. So the automation test suite needs to be updated wherever the change is according to the impact analysis, and we have to use all the test cases which we are running. So there should not be a block test cases, there should not be a test cases which we are running but not giving the results, appropriate result, because of anything fails, any issue related to objects or any issue related to the changes given by the client at the moment. So that is very important to see the success of the automation.
Okay. I think, and I have another question.
Yeah.
What are the possibilities that automation testing cannot be applied or be followed in an agile method?
Yeah. So in that case, suppose one application is there and that application is changing again and again. So client is not sure about the requirement. Client is not sure.
Okay. So there's constant changes in the requirements, or
Yes, constant
similarly. Yeah.
changes in
Okay.
requirements, constant changes in development. So even if we will do the automation, we will be capturing the object from the screen, right? In case the screen objects are getting changed, then the automation will again needs to be revamped or updated. So in case of requirement change, in case of the development changes done frequently, till the application is not suitable or not compatible for the automation, we will not start with the automation, or the projects which don't require compatibility, which don't have many test cases to run. There is only 5 or 10 test cases to run. In that case, automation will be not survive. So we need to see the feasibility for the automation first.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi, sir. Please.
Yes.
Okay. So the question is, we see that normally we write all these, means the BAs or maybe the developers in rare cases, or maybe the product owners, they write these cases onto Jira or Atlassian, if you have any idea, right?
Correct.
So will we be giving this tool as into business to say that you can write your cases here, or will we be using Jira itself and then integrating it with UiPath to get the cases from there itself?
Both will be possible. So UiPath is having own test manager where you can write all these requirements. You can write your like customer can write their requirement, and then everything, test cases and execution reports will be sent. Execution status will be sent. So UiPath is having own test manager where everything can be created. But in other hand, UiPath can be connected with the Jira, and that is also possible. If the company is using Jira from so long and they don't want to shift for the test management on any other tool, so they can use Jira and plugins with the UiPath, and they can take all this information from the Jira.
Okay, and it's perfect. And one more question to this only. So when we say that, say for example, we are developing any project through UiPath and it's there, now we are developing its automation testing. Now now is it a add-on responsibility to the developer, or is it something which is not under developers bucket, and then it will be to other some other person, maybe the tester? Then they both needs understanding of the process from BA, or is it something which developer will take care, or what's your view on this?
You are asking about the requirement understanding phase. There, the developer will need it or not, right?
So who will take care of this testing suite? So say for example, it's in test manager now, and now someone should be taking care of it, or who will create this? Is it a responsibility
Test
of?
automation engineer.
It's not. It's a tester, right?
Tester, yeah, test automation.
This is Ashwaya. So, is your question coming from RPA perspective or software or an application perspective?
To be frank, it's more inclined towards software perspective.
So, software perspectives, you'll have two teams. Okay, so there will be a development teams and there will be a testing team, right? So, developers will develop the software, and they'll hand it over to testers. And it's testers' responsibility to design, automate, and test applications. So the role will be of a tester. There will be a testing team and there will be testers there, and they will design these automations.
Yeah, so just to add here, like testing team will be always different, and the testing team hierarchy will be test manager, then test lead, testers, automation testers, manual testers. So in this case, developer will not take care of anything related to testing. So developer will do the development and the unit testing definitely, but the testing team will be responsible for creating RTM, test cases, test scenarios, test script. Everything will be in testing team's plate.
So for this, what Acharya, to your response, just tell me one thing. Means now the tester. So, for example, let's talk about RP only. Now the tester has nothing to do with the developer. So tester can create his. So once the requirement is there, in the same month, the developer is building his own logics to automate the process, and tester on the other end is developing his own logics to just for testing purpose.
Yeah.
Or is it tester has to wait for the developer to create the product and then tester has to go with this process?
Yeah, see, as you saw that the testing has its own life cycle, right? So automation comes at the end, right? So before starting automating these test cases, you have to plan them, you have to design them, right? So while the developer is actually developing these features or requirements that is being given to him, so on parallel, what testers can do is that testers can sit and think about the features that the developer is developing and come up with the different scenarios that he wants to test, so that he can validate that feature is properly developed or not. Right, so he has to wait. Of course, if you want to develop automation on top of it, you have to wait for the developer to deliver it. But while the developer develops it, so you can sit and design these test cases. Test case design is part of the SDLC. That's what you discussed, right? So testing on in itself, so if you speak about RPA, it might not be that very well established, because testing in RPA is not that structured yet. We are trying to push that structure into RPA testing now with UiPath Test Suite again. But in software testing, it's very well established. As Swati explained, it has its own life cycle. It goes through its due process, all those things, right? So while developer, of course, if you want to develop a test automation, he has to wait for the developer to deliver. But while he develops it, you can do other processes, the due process that's required for you to start developing automation. You can't just start developing automation for test cases. Right? You have to know what test cases to automate.
Then we need then as a I don't know, maybe as a designer or something like that, then I need to give the business a timeline which includes both developing of testing suite now and maybe testing and obviously testing of testing suite, and then obviously the developer part will be there when he's automating the product. Then there are two timelines which I have to give, means extra timelines which I have to give. But again, there is, so can this testing be a part of unit testing once the developer is doing that, or is it a separate approach once the developer is done with all this? Because I'm thinking from a business point of view, that business can be like, why should I give you 2 more weeks when just because you are doing this testing suite or something like that? Why can't you develop this after once the product is live? Or what's your view on this?
So it is not like that, what you are saying. So it will not require 2 weeks more, because it will be the simultaneous process. So test case design or test scripting module wise, suppose in unit testing, developer will cover the unit testing of their modules, their components, but they will not cover the integration, right? So when the two developers working together on different modules, and why if when the two developers have done the unit testing and that was proper, but after doing the integration of that two modules, it will not work, the functionality not work, and developer will more focus on their modules, own module. But here in testing, it is like it is the entire product or entire requirements, whatever the product should be worked on, and entire requirements whatever the clients want. So this will be a different process altogether.
What you are saying is that this test automation is not a agile flow. It's it can't flow in agile way. We have to make it once the product is there, and then we have to go ahead with it.
No. In agile also, yeah.
So the testing is part of your agile process. So basically, how the software development happens in agile project management methodology is you develop pieces of it, and then you will stitch it together to give a complete product, right? So you don't, so previously there was waterfall model where you have to linearly develop. For example, you develop login module and then you will go to the next bunch of features. And now what happens is these are all divided. So there'll be like 5-10 developers sitting. So you will be, you are probably developing the first part of the software, and there will be another developer who's developing the last part of the software there. right? So when it happens like this, so you as a developer who's developing the last part of the software, so he's going to test his part. So whatever that he has developed, he will test it. That is actually called as units, right? So a software is a set of units, right? So basically, so as a developer who is developing the last part, he's going to do his testing. He's going to develop unit test cases for the feature that he has developed, but he's not going to test the feature that the developer one is developing. That's the first feature. So somebody has to sit and once this all this packed together and then it come out as a product software, somebody actually test the software whether everything is working together or not. That we call integration testing and all those kind of stuff, right? So
Yeah.
but unit testing is as you, so you are developing part of it, right? You are not responsible for developing the entire software. At least in real life scenario, that never happens, right? A software is developed with multiple developers. So when multiple developers are working and they're working in parallel, building different modules of the same software, they'll just be responsible for testing their own features. That is what we call unit. So they have a unit to develop and they're going to test it by writing. So sometimes developers just test it without writing any automation to it. They just test it. They'll run the workflow, debug it from their studio, and they'll see whether if it's working, they'll sign off that this unit is working fine. And some developers go and then most of these IDEs will give an extension to automate unit testing. So they will develop unit testing modules and they'll hand it over so that when all of this is pieced together, so they can run them individually and test also. So this happens, it's not like all these 10, let's say if a software has 10 modules, it's not like all 10 modules are developed, then a tester comes in and then they'll pick up and then they'll start working towards automating or testing that. This happens parallelly. So module one, so it's agile, how it works is like even in module one, so when I say 50% of my module one is completed, it doesn't mean that I have to wait till 100% completion for that module to work. Agile is always about a working software over how much you have completed. So basically, so when he says I'm 50% completed, he has 50% of the feature of module one completed. So that 50% the tester can parallelly automate and test at the same time. So this happens parallelly. So if 50% of module one is developed by developer one, tester one will test that 50% parallelly. It's not going to wait for him to develop it 100% and then starts testing it. So it happens parallelly. So if I've developed 10%, the tester will start testing that 10% parallelly. So it's agile that way. So it's kind of software testing is baked into the agile project management methodology.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect, mate. It makes sense actually. I was just clearing some things. I don't want my developers to come back and ask me the same question, but now I have the answers. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful, helpful session. Thank you.
Yeah. So one more just example I want to share about the question you asked. You are a developer and you are working on suppose the car insurance module of particular insurance company, and I am also developer. I am working on the health insurance module, but I don't know you and you don't know me, but we are working on different modules which will be integrated as an insurance company portal. So that will be the application. And these two modules we have developed, we have tested for the unit testing, but someone should be there who will understand both the modules and see the integration between both modules. So this testing teams or automation testing strategies comes into picture.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Perfect. Thank you.
Is anything else you guys want us to cover in the future when it comes to test automation?
Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, Swati. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I just want to clarify one thing. Like, can I say like SIT and UAT both are same, but UAT will be done in presence of a user or the client, where SIT will be done without them. Is it right, or any changes in that?
Yes. So here in this case, the SIT, system integration testing, what you are talking about, it will be the functional testing for each and every combination of data, each and every combination of test cases. We will be covering the functional testing, we will be covering the integration testing, we will be covering non-functional testing, everything. When
Exactly.
it comes for UAT, it comes for UAT. They will check the user journeys according to the business needs. They are
Correct.
not going to test each and every test case. They are not going to check each and every validation. So this is the big picture. SIT is a big picture where we will be testing the entire software 360-degree views, and we will be doing the entire software testing starting from the small components. And in UAT test scenario will be very less test scenario which UAT like users or the client will do in front of us, but that will not cover the example. Take the example like login functionality with blank credential. They are not going to check it. But
Correct.
we need to make sure as a tester it is working fine. We need to make sure as an automation tester that we will provide the blank input in our input file. So, but the UAT client is not going to test that. So they will not test the negatively. They will just check the business data with the like whatever product we have developed is working fine or not.
Okay. Okay. And the SIT means like we have to make sure of every component in the when coming to RPA in SIT, like it's our reference to make it perfect before going to live or production. We should uh, make all the components working fine for our reference. Nothing to show them anything like any output or anything to the clients.
Correct.
Only they will involve only in UAT, right?
Correct. In case of RPA, you are asking, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, in
Yes,
RPA.
yes. So in case of RPA, the developer needs to be done the each and every component which is developed, whatever bot we have trained. So all the functionality of the bot, functional, then the exceptions by the bot, whatever is going to fire is correct or not. So everything we need to make sure before going UAT.
Yes, whoever be the team lead or the developer or the solution
They
architect,
need to.
only
They need
these
to.
people will involve, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Thank you. Thank you, Swati.
Yeah. Is there any more questions?
Yeah, we have 2 more minutes, guys. Okay, one very common question I get in all the meetups, which I haven't got in this one, that whether recording will be available or not. So anyway, if you have this question, recording will be shared in the same event, right? And in case you have any question related to test suite, you can always post it on the forum under test suite category. So Swati, we have one question in RPA, which language we are using for automation from Ramesh.
Let me answer.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, guys, so specifically, there are multiple RPA vendors out there, right? So UiPath is one of the RPA vendors. So I'll talk from UiPath's perspective. So from UiPath's perspective, we are a very low code or a no code kind of a platform. So we are kind of a designer tool. So where we have a predefined activities, you will drag and drop. So and you can actually design the workflows or the automation that you want to actually develop. So if you're asking about UiPath, it's very low code. It's not to say that you can't do programming with UiPath. So if you love to program, so be it Java, Python, or C#, so you'll be able to program it using our platform. But predominantly, so it's a very low code or no code kind of thing. Not because you can't program, just because it's a faster way of developing things. Yes, you can use Python. So you can we have a provision where you will be able to run any kind of Python code using UiPath platform. You might not get all the features of any other Python IDEs like PyCharm or anything, but you would be able to, let's say you have a Python script, you want to run it in UiPath platforms, you'll be able to. Yes, you can automate desktop. So imagine any application available today in the market, you'll be able to automate it with UiPath. Desktop, web, SAPs, the applications hosted on virtual environments, mobile. So any application you will have, so you'll be able to automate using UiPath.
Yes, everything is possible. everything is possible for automation, and the traditional automation require coding, more coding, and this UiPath test suite, we don't have to code much. Definitely, if you are having a Python code, you can use as discussed just now, but it's a drag and drop, and many components are ready to use. It's very much time saving, and go to market will be 50 to 60% less uh, than the traditional automation. And we will be showing you the practical example how to create the test suite and test cases by using UiPath test suite in next sessions.
Great, Swati. I think we are on time, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I just had
Yes.
one question
Yes.
now before we wrap up.
Yes.
Guys, how many of you attended the UiPath DevCon, which happened this week? So,
You can answer on chat if you want,
yeah.
or you can just raise hand, unmute.
Okay, so yeah, there I can see a few hand raised. So guys, if some of you have not attended the DevCon, it's available on demand. So you can go to devcon.uipath.com and all the sessions are available for you to view. Or if you have attended and if you think you want to revisit some of the things, you can always go and actually revisit it. It's a very insightful session. It's not just on testing. So UiPath Test Suite was covered in one of the sessions. But if you want to know what's happening on the automation board, what's driving the market today, the hyper automation, there's a lot of things that you'll be able to learn about UiPath platform there. Right? So please go and visit that.
Hi, Swati. If possible, the coming sessions, you told like you will show the demo with UiPath. If possible, please show like how you perform all these testings and move to production to one environment another. It will be very useful.
Definitely, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, Swati, for a great session, and thanks, Ashray, for joining us. And thank you, everyone, for joining us on Saturday. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, thanks Vibhor and Aishwarya, and thanks to all participants.